Get a lot of questions about fishing a crankbait through grass and what's the right way to do it and what's the right technique. And also get a lot of guys that get frustrated by it, because I'll be honest with you, it's a lot of work. But there are a couple things that I learned over the years that are key to fishing a crankbait in grass. And the one is eliciting that reaction strike through popping it out of the grass. And that movement of that crankbait when it's ticking that grass and when it's temporarily stuck and then it frees itself, I bet you 90% of my bites in grass happen exactly when that crankbait frees. So, a normal scenario for me is quite honestly purposely getting the crankbait caught in the grass. This is a real good scenario right here. We've got an inside edge of milfoil. We're going down a milfoil line here. And the way that I want to position on this when I'm fishing a crankbait is I don't want to parallel it and I don't want to cast straight into it, but I actually want to quarter cast that edge. So if you look, as I cast down this milfoil edge, my cast is quartered. So I make that cast and I'm quarter casting it. So the very beginning of my cast is going to hit that edge. And as I bring that bait down and I crank it and I start to feel that grass hit, I literally want to snatch it out of there when it gets caught. So I feel that crankbait digging down that milfoil and I'm actually getting my hand a lot of times and snatching the bottom of the rod. It looks really strange, it looks violent, but that movement of that crankbait popping out of the grass is so key to trigger that bite. So quarter casting, I'm purposely getting that crankbait down, caught in the grass. When I feel it, I'm using my hand a lot of times to help free it out of that grass. And when that crankbait pops out of there, you get that bite. One other thing is the line and the rod, and this is going to surprise a lot of people. When you think about grass fishing, you think about braid, but I don't want braid. Also, you think about a stiff, heavy action graphite rod. I don't want a heavy action graphite rod. So the best way I can describe this is as a rubber band theory. So when that crankbait comes down and then gets caught in the tops of that grass, if I had a stiff graphite rod and braid and I ripped that bait, it would pull the bait forward through the grass. But if I have fluorocarbon or monofilament, which has a little bit of stretch, and I'm using a composite or a glass rod or even a slow, medium action graphite rod, and that crankbait gets caught in that grass, now there's a little bit of sponge to it, like a rubber band. And when I snatch that crankbait, instead of being ripped through it, it goes like this and rips up and out like a rubber band. So think about that rubber band theory. And even though it's more work, when you're fishing grass with a crankbait, use mono or fluorocarbon and use a rod that has a more medium type of action, especially a composite or a glass rod. And that movement of that bait snatching out is going to be the trigger.